The president announced new checks for U.S. service members, but in reality, Congress controls the federal budget. Any checks would require congressional approval, no matter who claims credit. Interestingly, the amount mentioned roughly matches the extra costs American families have faced from recent trade tariffs. Tariffs remain one of the most misunderstood parts of this address. Americans, not foreign countries, bear the brunt of higher prices. Manufacturing jobs are down, businesses face uncertainty, and while tech investment grows, most Americans aren't seeing.
Inflation was another highlight. The president claimed it was the worst in decades. In reality, inflation has largely stabilized around 3% since he took office. Grocery prices, meanwhile, are still climbing faster than overall inflation. Everyday Americans feel the pinch at checkout, not just in speeches. Immigration featured prominently. The speech suggested immigrants are driving up rents and taking jobs. Yet research shows that restrictive policies could remove millions of workers from the economy, slowing growth and increasing costs across industries like construction, agriculture, and healthcare. Housing affordability was also linked to immigration in the speech. The reality? A shortage of workers in construction and ongoing housing supply issues are the main drivers of rising rent and home prices. The president highlighted tax cuts as a historic achievement, but independent analysis shows tariffs and trade policies often act as hidden taxes, increasing costs for families. The bottom line? Many households end up paying more, not less. Claims about record manufacturing or factory openings also ignored recent job losses. Investment is happening, but for most Americans, new job opportunities haven't kept pace. The speech itself had a distinct style, rapid, defensive, and more like a campaign rally than a presidential address. Normally, national addresses respond to crises or announce policy changes. This one seemed designed to defend past actions and reassure supporters, regardless of broader realities. Internationally, allies are questioning America's role in global stability. Domestically, public perception remains mixed. Loud declarations can't replace real improvements in daily life. What matters is whether families feel safer, more secure, and economically stable. The main takeaway? Speeches and statistics don't always match lived experience. Americans should focus on facts, not slogans. Inflation, housing, wages, and job security are real measures of success. Until improvements reach households directly, bold claims remain just that, claims. In short, the president's address was a fast-paced defense of his record. But the story that matters is the one Americans experience every day: their jobs, their paychecks, and their communities. Stay informed, check the facts, and don't rely on slogans alone. Another major topic was government spending. The president claimed programs and policies are cost-effective, yet the U.S. national debt continues to climb. While headlines focus on projected savings or targeted programs, real Americans feel the consequences in the form of higher interest rates, budget uncertainty, and fewer resources for essential services. Budget shortfalls also affect services like education, infrastructure, and healthcare. Overspending now could mean higher costs for families later, even if the administration emphasizes temporary wins. Globally, America's allies are watching closely. Bold domestic claims don't automatically translate to confidence abroad. European partners, Canada, and Mexico have raised questions about U.S. commitment to trade agreements, security partnerships, and climate initiatives. The message at home is one thing, but perception internationally matters just as much. National addresses can bolster domestic morale, but international trust requires consistency and transparency. Without it, the U.S. risks strained relationships and economic uncertainty. The rapid pace and dramatic delivery also highlight how the media interprets these speeches. Fact-checkers, analysts, and social media users quickly dissect claims, creating a whirlwind of commentary. While supporters may feel reassured, critics see a mismatch between words and reality. This dynamic shows that messaging alone isn't enough. Americans are increasingly comparing statements with data, prices, and personal experiences. Political rhetoric must meet real-world expectations to maintain credibility. Social programs from healthcare to education are directly affected by policy decisions. Despite claims of investment or cuts in costs, families often notice delays, higher copays, or reduced benefits. Numbers on a chart don't always translate to real improvements. Whether it's tuition, food stamps, or energy assistance, policy decisions ripple through households. The speech may highlight achievements, but everyday Americans measure success by tangible results. Business owners and investors also weigh in. Confidence in the economy is influenced by policies, tariffs, and regulatory shifts. While the administration cites strong investment in technology and infrastructure, entrepreneurs worry about inconsistent regulations and potential trade disputes. Business owners and investors also weigh in. Confidence in the economy is influenced by policies, tariffs, and regulatory shifts. While the administration cites strong investment in technology and infrastructure, entrepreneurs worry about inconsistent regulations and potential trade disputes. Long-term growth depends on stability and predictability, not rapid announcements. Businesses make hiring, production, and investment decisions based on real-world conditions, not
can't
slogans.
ignore the inflation impact
The
any
key
longer. The data
takeaway
backs
from
this
this
housing price.
address:
Look at these projections.
speeches can be powerful, but facts